Hello everyone, Dynamo here. A quick discussion video about me being a bit envious of what's going on in the video game space regarding Stellar Blade. Now, I've been saying this from the get-go. I always want a black female lead who is well designed, sexy, strong, and have her character to be at least likable. But here in the Western world, they're almost non-existent. I even talked about this same topic before in my old video right here, how most Western game developers boxed this demographic into a specific archetype. I highly recommend watching this because this discussion video now that you see before you is kind of a follow-up, but on a more personal level. Anyways, back to Stellar Blade. Despite these so-called controversies, whether good or bad, surrounding it, it's free publicity for the game. So, having played and beaten Stellar Blade twice, I noticed there's a resurgence of the sexy female protagonist as a lead in their games. I say resurgence because the market for such an audience has been a hit and miss due to the social political climate where it's known to be a raging storm for the past, I lost track, several years I guess? This is nothing new, to be honest. Trends pick up, they come and go. Back on topic, the main character of Stellar Blade, Eve, she is basically the new it girl for this season. The term it girl is someone who is extremely popular based on their sex appeal, magnetic charms, and being authentic to themselves. Someone who is always being talked about among social circles. And like I said, this is nothing new of the it girl. For instance, before Eve, there were many others, like Bayonetta, 2B, Lara Croft, Tifa Lockhart, Chun-Li from Street Fighter, the list goes on and on. But what I'm saying is, what do all of these girls have in common? Answer: the impact on gaming culture. After many years, people still talk about them in various forms of media, either by fan art, cosplaying, Easter eggs, or crossover collaborations. Basically, they made history in gaming communities. And it doesn't stop there. I've also been noticing that a lot of indie game developers have been making sexy female protagonists in their products as well. So I'm just observing and realizing that there are more games out there that shows this type of actual trope. These indie developers who are creating these games grew up in the era of the characters that I mentioned. A beautiful lady that is marketable. And gathering all this, I look at this trend and trope and tell myself, why can't we have sexy black female characters get some of the spotlight as well? Like, I am actually envious on why I have not seen one. Jealousy is an ugly creature, and I admit, I look at these games and compare it sometimes. Like, man, I need one. Why aren't they starring in their own games? And I know some of y'all don't want to admit this, but let me tell you something what you already know. Sexy black women are marketable. They are. There is an audience for that, and I am one of them. And if you don't believe me, game developers from Japan have always been dropping strong hints that black women with sex appeal are very marketable to the whole wide world. Japan love black women too. Here, look, I'm gonna show you a bunch of pictures right now. I'm not gonna name them, but you'll be familiar with them right here. Darling Dagger, Dolores, Master Raven, all that stuff, Shev Up, the list goes on and on. They have the best designs, and yet they're not the star of their own games. So what I'm saying is, Nubian women need love too. They're profitable. Just have a game, something out there, you know? I know some of you may say like, well, why don't you make your own game? Oh shit, if I had the talent and the time, yeah, I would. And there are like other indie games with Kickstarter and charitable fund type of games. And I see the games like, oh, it looks cool. They have a sexy female protagonist, but you know, they don't have nothing in my interest. And if they do, it usually goes by vote. And I normally get outvoted. So like, at this point, I just don't bother. You know, I look at Stellar Blade, the resurgence of the sexy female protagonist reoccurring again, which is great. But I look at it like, man, we need some sexy Nubian women in video games too. Alright, I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you all for watching. Dynamo out.